Reality is the biggest leap in blockchain technology since Bitcoin introduced trust without a middleman. Think about it. Bitcoin and Ethereum changed everything by creating trust in a trustless system. No banks, no corporations or governments. But their real revolution wasn't just digital money or smart contracts, it was consensus, the system that decides who and what to trust. Consensus is how a network creates and maintains trust. Bitcoin's consensus is beautifully simple, proof of work. It has one job and one job only, to secure Bitcoin transactions. But here's the thing, you can't build anything on it. It's not designed for apps or smart contracts or any kind of customization. It requires specialized mining rigs that cost thousands of dollars, and it doesn't play well with other blockchains. It exists in isolation. Have you ever seen pictures of the first computers with vacuum tubes that takes up a whole room? That's what Bitcoin looks like. It works, but you can't exactly check your email on it. And on top of that, it burns as much electricity as the Netherlands every year. That's the cost of securing the network. But all that energy, it doesn't do anything useful beyond mining Bitcoin. In other words, while Bitcoin introduced the magic of decentralized consensus, of trust without a middleman, it's not adaptable. Developers can't build scalable apps on it, and its scripting capabilities are extremely limited. It's a closed system that doesn't evolve. So then Ethereum comes along and says, wait a minute, what if we could use this blockchain magic of trust for more than just sending transactions? And just like that, a new era was born, programmable money. Instead of just sending Bitcoin back and forth, Ethereum lets you write code called smart contracts that automate everything. It became like a fully automated bank, except instead of humans handling everything, the code takes care of borrowing, lending, and token swaps. The world was thirsty for decentralized apps, now called dApps, and Ethereum became their home. Apps like Uniswap let you swap tokens without needing a centralized exchange. Liquidity pools allowed anyone to lend out their tokens and earn a yield, something your bank won't let you do. Suddenly, Ethereum wasn't just a blockchain, it was an entirely new economy. But as Ethereum grew, it hit a wall. You see, Ethereum's original proof of work system, which it copied from Bitcoin, it couldn't keep up. It was like a donkey pulling a Tesla. Sure, it moves, but it's not built for the job. So in 2022, Ethereum upgraded from proof of work to proof of stake. Now, how does Ethereum take this core idea of trust, which it got from Bitcoin, which is consensus, and ensure it in this new model? Instead of burning energy, users who want to help secure the network must stake 32 ETH as collateral. If they act honestly, they earn rewards. If they try to cheat, the network slashes their ETH. It was a huge improvement. Overnight, Ethereum's energy use dropped by 99.9%. Imagine your electric bill going from $1,000 a year to $1 a year. That's how inefficient Bitcoin's proof of work was in Ethereum's network, and that's how more efficient proof of stake was. No more expensive mining rigs. Now all you needed was a computer and 32 ETH. Sounds great, right? Well, not so fast, because even with proof of stake, Ethereum is still fundamentally limited. You see, Ethereum still runs on a monolithic architecture, which comes with three major problems. Number one, only the wealthy can play. To run a validator node, you need 32 ETH, which right now costs over $100,000. That means security is controlled by people who already have a lot of money and don't want to lose it. Number two, Ethereum, because of its monolithic design, is like a skyscraper with only one elevator. All the users, the dApps, the NFTs, the DeFi, and the games, they all share the same execution layer. If too many people try to use it at once, everything gets congested, and it does. And number three, gas fees. They create a pay-to-win system. Ethereum operates on a real-time bidding for block space. What does that mean? If the network is busy, wealthy users can outbid everyone else. If you're not rich, enjoy waiting. Imagine if your banking app only allowed a limited number of logins per day, and rich users could pay extra to skip the line. That's Ethereum today. So if you build on Ethereum, you inherit all these limitations. So to deal with Ethereum's congestion, people started building layer 2 solutions. Layer 2s process transactions off-chain, and then send the results back to Ethereum. It helps, but it reintroduces the problem that Bitcoin originally solved, a middleman. So now we're back to where we started. And when Ethereum gets busy, even layer 2 solutions don't help. In 2024, Coinbase launched its layer 2 network base. Demand spiked and gas fees skyrocketed to over $30 per transaction, even for users who were not using Bates. So no matter how much they patch it, Ethereum's real issue is its monolithic design. And this is the root of the problem. No matter how many upgrades Ethereum adds, it cannot escape its own structure. Now let's think about how the internet works. You could be streaming Netflix at home while I'm on a Zoom call, and guess what? We're not slowing each other down. Ethereum isn't built that way. It's like trying to run the whole internet through a single data center. But here's the takeaway. Ethereum's real problem is consensus is still tied to the base layer. That means anyone building on Ethereum inherits all its limitations, the congestion, the high gas fees, the lack of scalability. And this is where reality changes everything. Ethereum is a one-lane highway. Reality is a network of interconnected roads, highways, and bridges. If Ethereum is a skyscraper with one elevator, reality is a university campus where each building is designed for a specific purpose. And this is how modular blockchains scale. Instead of forcing every transaction into the same bottleneck, reality breaks things apart so the system can grow without limits. But here's something even bigger. Reality unbundles security from staking. Bitcoin requires miners to burn electricity, which they pay for, to secure the network. Ethereum requires validators to lock up 32 ETH to prove they have skin in the game. Reality, security is not tied to stake. It's built into the network itself. Reality separates consensus from collateral. It doesn't rely on people locking up assets just to keep the network secure. Instead, it leverages something called proof of useful work, where your computing power isn't wasted on mining, but it actually does something valuable for the network. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a fundamental shift in how consensus works. Reality has innovated on the core idea of consensus, trust without a middleman, which is at the heart of decentralized networks. Most networks make you pay to participate. Reality pays you for the value you provide. Anyone with a laptop, home computer, or spare server space can join Reality's network and put their computing power to work. No expensive mining rigs, no locking up assets, just turn on your machine, contribute resources, and get rewarded. This is called proof of useful work, not wasted work. If Bitcoin mining is like digging holes just to discover treasure, well, the act of the digging doesn't help anyone. The treasure only rewards the digger. Reality flips that model on its head. The same effort, which is the digging, which is the computing power, now creates real value. Instead of burning energy uselessly just to secure a ledger, Reality's consensus powers real apps, verifies transactions, strengthens the entire network. And this is one of the things that sets Reality apart. Bitcoin turns effort into scarcity. Reality turns effort into value. And here's where it gets even more interesting. You choose where your computing power goes. So now if you've been following along, you know that consensus, the foundation of decentralized networks, is constantly evolving. Reality Network takes consensus beyond what was ever thought possible in blockchain. It's modular, yes, but more importantly, it's something entirely new. You see, Reality isn't just another blockchain, it's a meta ledger. A meta ledger doesn't just store transactions like a typical blockchain, it coordinates, it connects, and empowers independent networks. Think about it this way, a blockchain is like a single town. It has its own economy, rules, and infrastructure. A meta ledger, it's the entire world map. Reality doesn't just host applications, it powers independent networks called Reality apps, RAPs, that function as their own layer 1 blockchains. A meta ledger is to blockchains what the internet is to websites. The internet isn't just one site, it's a network of networks, seamlessly connecting billions of independent platforms, each with their own rules and economies and communities. Reality's meta ledger works the same way. Instead of every app being stuck on one chain, wraps launch their own sovereign networks while staying interconnected. Instead of a one-size-fits-all consensus, Reality's 2meme, which is the name of the consensus model, allows each wrap to customize how it operates. And instead of competing for resources, wraps tap into shared pool of computing power and liquidity. And this is where the real magic happens. With Reality, consensus isn't a constraint, it's a service. Think about that for a second. For Bitcoin and Ethereum, consensus is locked into the chain itself. Bitcoin's proof of work is rigid. It only exists to secure Bitcoin. Ethereum's proof of stake is exclusive. Validators must lock up 32 ETH just to participate. Reality flips the model entirely. Instead of consensus being tied to one blockchain, Reality delivers it on demand. This is the breakthrough. Consensus isn't something you inherit, it's something you can use. Any network, any app, any system can tap into Reality's consensus as a service. It's modular, customizable, and accessible without staking barriers or mining costs. Reality makes consensus an open marketplace, not a closed system. Now, if a meta ledger is truly what it claims to be, which is a ledger of ledgers, a network of networks, then it cannot be just another blockchain. By definition, it has to be interoperable with everything. Not just Ethereum, not just Bitcoin, not just the blockchains that opt in or agree to specific bridges, everything. Because the second a so-called meta ledger picks and chooses what it connects to, it's not a meta ledger anymore. It's just another chain with another walled garden. Reality is different. Reality doesn't just connect a handful of blockchains, it's universally interoperable, capable of connecting to any network, any data source, any decentralized system seamlessly. And this is why Reality can actually call itself a meta ledger, because it does what no blockchain, no layer 1 and no layer 2 has ever done. It connects everything without requiring permission. It enables transactions across chains without middlemen. It ensures trust and finality in real time everywhere. And if a so-called meta ledger doesn't provide universal atomic interoperability, then it's just another blockchain giving itself a fancy name. But Reality actually delivers. It treats blockchains like APIs, making them seamlessly work together whether they want to or not. It moves liquidity between ecosystems without wrapped tokens, centralized bridges, or counterparty risk. It replaces the need for middlemen entirely because Reality's consensus isn't just about security, it's about connectivity. And here's why this changes everything. For the first time, the crypto space has universal swaps, direct, trustless trades between any digital asset. This is called atomic swaps, and it's a game changer. Right now, if you want to swap Bitcoin for ETH, you can't do it directly. You have to either use a bridge or a centralized exchange, pay a middleman taking a cut of your trade, trust that that third party won't freeze or lose your funds. With Reality, you swap any asset for any asset, instantly, securely, without a middleman. No bridges, no wrap tokens, no reliance on centralized intermediaries. This isn't just faster and cheaper, it's the first truly decentralized way to trade across chains. And because Reality's security is not based on staked assets or validators, these swaps are fully trustless, meaning you never risk losing funds to a bad actor. With Reality, consensus isn't just securing a blockchain, it's securing transactions across every blockchain. Reality is the only network designed from the ground up to connect everything. Take it a step further. If consensus is a service, then security itself is democratized. Because now you don't need specialized mining rigs or staking large sums of money. You don't even need to be a blockchain expert. With Reality, anyone with a home computer can contribute to securing the network. This creates a true decentralized global marketplace for compute power. Wraps, reality apps, are like their own blockchains. They can hire consensus from the network based on their needs. Users, regular folks, provide computing power, earning rewards for contributing to the security of the network. And here's the kicker. Users get to choose where their power goes. Do you want to support a DeFi app and get paid in their token? Share your compute power with them. A decentralized game, a new AI-driven protocol, it's your choice. This is merged mining in action, something traditional blockchains could never do. Right now, blockchains are like isolated kingdoms, each with its own laws, walls, and security forces. Reality is the first decentralized economy of compute where networks don't have to compete for security, they can share it. Developers don't have to worry about building their own validators. Reality provides them on demand, and users don't need to stake massive amounts of money. Just turn on their machine and contribute. And the more people participate, contribute, and secure the network and wraps, the stronger the entire system gets. This is a shift from mining scarcity to generating value, from isolated networks to interconnected economies, from blockchains competing for security to blockchains sharing it. Reality isn't just another blockchain, it's the connective tissue between all of them. And this is how decentralization scales. Consensus isn't just about securing a blockchain, it's about enabling entire networks to operate autonomously. With reality, consensus isn't a bottleneck, it's a service. And when consensus is a service, networks become sovereign. And this is where reality apps change the game. Wraps aren't just smart contracts, and they're not just blockchains. They can be fully fledged independent networks with their own consensus and tokenomics, or lightweight apps that tap into reality's infrastructure for compute and security. You can have a token, you can launch without needing a token. Some wraps function as their own layer ones, running custom logic and governance. Others don't need their own blockchain. They can just use reality's compute layer to execute workloads. And some simply exist as decentralized services running transparently across the network. But no matter how they're designed, all wraps share one thing in common. They don't need permission to build, launch, or scale. They aren't locked into a single chain. They don't inherit someone else's congestion, gas fees, or limitations. And this is only possible because of reality's true innovation, HRTP, Hyper Reality Transfer Protocol. Think about how the internet works. Every website, every server, every app exists independently, but they all communicate through the same protocol. TCP/IP standardized the internet. HRTP standardizes decentralized networks. Just like every device gets an IP address when it connects to the internet, every reality-connected network and human gets a unique identity, existing independently while staying connected to everything else. And just like websites don't need permission to go live, wraps on reality can launch their own networks so they can scale on their own terms without central control. Just like the internet made information borderless, reality makes value borderless, connecting blockchains, assets, and applications in ways that were never possible before. This isn't about replacing blockchains. It's about creating the universal infrastructure that lets them thrive together. Reality is to blockchains what the internet's foundation is to the web. It's the invisible system that makes everything work, the shift from blockchain maximalism to blockchain interoperability, and it's the move from fragmented networks to a universal standard. Every wrap, blockchain, and asset speaks a common language. No walled gardens. Any network can plug in and interact seamlessly. Instead of competing for liquidity, networks share it instantly. This isn't just an upgrade. This is a fundamental shift from walled-off chains to a fully connected, decentralized ecosystem. This is how Web3 scales. This is how we build the decentralized internet. This is reality. I was an early Amazon seller in 2009. Back then, the landscape was wide open. It was clear something huge was happening. I imagine people building .com businesses in the late 90s felt the same way, a mix of uncertainty, excitement, and limitless potential. This is bigger. Any idea you have where participants own the business, where value is shared through your own token, where your community keeps the system running by offering their shared compute to your Reality app in exchange for your token. That's what's possible now. This is not just another blockchain, it's an entirely new layer. For the first time, we have Web3 internet scale infrastructure, a system, a platform where next-gen ideas don't just compete with big tech, they replace it. If you've ever wanted to build something world-changing, this is it. Welcome to Reality. Join us on Telegram or Discord and let's build something amazing.